Hello guys, welcome. Today, let us learn about an interesting topic, Newton's laws of motion. Newton's first law of motion states that an object remains in a state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change that state by an applied force. The tendency of an undisturbed object to stay at rest or to keep moving with the same velocity is called inertia. This is why the first law of motion is also known as law of inertia. Let us see some of the examples for inertia. A ball keeps on rolling until it is stopped by an external force. Here, the ball keeps on rolling until the person hits it again or makes it stop again. Another example of first law of motion is a car is in uniform motion in a straight line unless it applies brake or stops. Interesting fact, due to first law of motion, astronauts can let go of tool in space and it will stay in one spot until they grab it. If the astronaut throws the tool, it will travel in a straight line and never stops. Now, let us learn about Newton's second law of motion. It states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. What is momentum then? The momentum P of an object is defined as product of its mass m and velocity v, that is, P is equal to m into v. Mathematically, second law of motion can be written in terms of force. That is, force is directly proportional to mass into acceleration. In short, we can write second law of motion in terms of equation as F is equal to ma. Let us see some of the applications of Newton's second law of motion. Here you can see a person having a less mass, single bag, can push the cart very easily when compared to a person having lot of mass or lot of baggages. A person having a single bag or less mass requires less force, whereas having a lot of mass, a person requires more force to push the cart. That is, according to second law, mass is directly proportional to the force. When the mass is more, it requires more force to push the cart. When mass is less, it requires less force to push the cart. Another example, a person can lift easily few objects like a book and an apple. When the objects become more, it becomes harder to lift him. This is due to second law of motion. Let us learn about Newton's third law of motion. It states that when one object exerts a force on another object, the second object instantaneously exerts a force back on the first. These two forces are always equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. In simple words, we can say that to every action there is always equal and opposite reaction. That is Newton's third law of motion. It is also called as action and reaction principle. Some of the applications of Newton's third law of motion. Moving of a rocket upwards when the force or the thrust acts downwards. This is due to Newton's third law of motion. Another application of Newton's third law of motion we can see in our daily life is skateboard moving forward when the force applied is backward is due to Newton's law of motion. Question of the day. What happens according to Newton if you let an untied balloon go? Let us know your answer by commenting. Hope you have learnt about Newton's 3 laws of motion. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe Gyan Galaxies